Recently said that China's actions appear to be discriminatory. You've flagged some concerns here now. Would you be willing to take China to the World Trade Organisation in relation to coal?
Australia continues to reserve all our rights across all different sectors when it comes to the handling of these issues. We do have to make sure that we have the facts behind us when it comes to undertaking WTO challenges. And the different types of disruptive actions that China has undertaken this year are of a nature where Australia can see clearly legal avenues and processes in terms of potential WTO challenges in cases like barley and wine, where China has implemented anti-dumping duties and the like. There are other sectors, such as in fisheries, timber and the like, where China appears to be using regulatory mechanisms to disrupt trade. And then there are others, such as what we're seeing in the resources sector, which are more about a disruption through use of state influence with different companies and businesses. And clearly they are somewhat more opaque in terms of the potential practices that are being deployed there, but we will seek to get to the bottom of this. The easiest way for China to deal with this is to simply make clear that it's not true and to allow trade between Australian businesses and Chinese businesses to be conducted according to the type of market principles that China has agreed to engage in. Ultimately, Australia has long been clear and consistent that we have welcomed China's economic growth, that we value being a partner in China's economic growth, that we continue to wish to be a partner in that regard and to support that future growth of China's economy, and that we remain willing to engage in dialogue to resolve these issues together, and that we urge China to clarify them, to reject the reports that have been made, to ensure that businesses engage on a commercial basis, and to sit down and work with us in relation to the issues so that we can avoid the types of legal processes like the WTO.
On that, and barley tariffs, when will the government, lodge a formal complaint in relation to barley tariffs? And are you worried about the potential, retaliation from China?
Look, finalisation of our approach in relation to the barley case is imminent. We've had extensive consultation with industry. We've been working within government to build the strongest possible case in defence of our industry, which frankly is pretty easy to build because Australian grain growers and farmers aren't subsidised. They don't dump their products on global markets, and we clearly have the evidence to mount a strong case in that regard. The view is that Australia defends the international rules-based order. We think it's important in terms of trade that it occur globally according to a set of rules that can give investors and businesses confidence in terms of how they act. Logically, if you think those rules are important, then you ought to be willing to call it out when necessary and use those rules and call in the independent umpire at the right time. So we're close to making a final decision in that regard, and that'll be announced imminently.